and then we're going to do the intro, and then here we go. Okay, let me get the intro down. Here we go, guys. You can start. Give me an intro.
Hey, this is Barry Livingston and Stanley Livingston from My Three Sons, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio. Hamilton Radio.
All right, guys. Well, welcome. Welcome to the show tonight. This is Chance's Chat, and we are going to be doing a lot of great stuff tonight. But welcome to Chance's Chat. I'm Docg, Chance McFadden, and Fascinating Brian. This is Chance's Chat. This is for entertainment purposes only, but it also may not be.
That's right. That's right. Got to have the disclaimer in there so I don't get sued.
Disclaiming it. Yep.
I get it, brother. Oh, we didn't have any theme music this morning, but that's nice at Barry Livingston. And who else was it?
What the hell's his name? Geez, hold on, I forgot.
Were they both from My Three Sons?
Yeah, one was Chip and one was Ernie. Stanley and Barry Livingston. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. They were brothers in real life.
And they were both great guys too.
Oh, they look like it. I mean, I've seen them both in a lot of different TV shows and stuff in the 70s.
Yep.
Guys, as usual, the RV information is going to be at the end. We got a lot of things to talk about. Brian's got some very heavy stuff to talk about. And with that in mind, we're going to start right out with some stuff that's very important, okay? Now, if you've been listening to the Chance's Chat on Telegram, we got some drama going on there, and we got some contradictions, okay? I do not want anybody posting anything that has anything to do with anything that is against the Christ consciousness, okay? You can have whatever Christ consciousness you want, and you can participate. But when you start talking about other things, and Nazis and all kinds of that crazy crap, we don't want it on the Telegram page, okay? And any fighting in between members and administrators and members, it's got to stop, or else I'm going to have to shut the channel down. If you guys can't play nice, not all of you, if you can't play nice, I'm going to shut the Telegram channel down, and I won't be opening anything else up. So you'll just have to wait for Thursday nights. So that's what I'm doing, because I just can't live with the drama. I cannot live with it. I am experiencing a bunch of things here at the house and with the family and everything, and my grandchildren and children. And I've got my hands full, and I don't have time to administer the site. So if everybody could just get along and play nice, and, you know, the key word to all my chats, the all keyword, one word that only counts: love. If you don't have love in your heart, what do you got?
Nothing.
It's not about egos. Okay? We were here to work together. We were here to help each other. We were brought here, and I'm not here to have the largest music store in the world. I'm not here to be the truther that above all truthers. I'm not here, neither is Brian and neither is Doc, here to salve anybody's ego. We're bringing to you information that we all have and insights that we all have. And with those insights comes information that you cannot get from other sources. Okay? Thank you, Deanne. I appreciate that. It's good to see you too. I love it when people make comments and their little memes pop up on there. River Life. Hi, River Life. Happy Thursday. Yes, it is a happy Thursday because I'm getting. I'll give you just a preview. Today was Tara. Today was Kamala and Monkeypox Day on Telegram. Must have been. I saw it. Okay. Okay. You got to remember, guys. Okay, you got to remember. Most of the stuff that most people pull on there is bullshit. Okay, and if you don't understand what bullshit is, then you don't understand the chancism language that I use instead of cussing. Okay, it's real easy. Just go to Johnny. Watch the movie Johnny Dangerously. Love the movie Johnny Dangerously. Okay, and that starred who? Anybody? Anybody?
Michael Keaton, right?
Mike, go ahead.
Michael Keaton?
Absolutely. My favorite Batman. In fact, he's the only Batman. So I'm thinking for extreme purposes, Brian, in the future, I think Michael Keaton ought to do a Batman Deadpool thing. Because Wolverine's all right, but I'm thinking Batman and Deadpool. He's got Deadpool's the comic relief, and Batman is don't F with me, okay? So it would be interesting. I'm going to guess that Deadpool would probably be eating his lunch every 2 seconds.
Marvel DC not going to happen for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
It'd probably most likely be a chimichanga since there's a lot of Mexican food with
right. So we're going to have love, and we're going to have we're going to have good times. Hey, we got to celebrate each other, man. We have to celebrate each other. I want to celebrate some things right now. Brother Dave, who went in the hospital twice this week. I know he's listening right now. I love you, Brother Dave. You know that. And his brother John. I love you guys, man. I can't wait to work with you guys as humanitarians. He called me today, by the way, and he said, Chance, what do you know about foundations? And I said, everything. You're going to have to wait till the end of the show, Jordan. All RV information is at the end of the show. We're not having people fall off anymore, okay? But he says, what do you know about foundations? Hello, Misty. And I said, everything. And he says, can you set me and my brother up with a foundation afterwards? Yes. You could pull you up on YouTube tonight. Good. I'm glad to hear that. So, yeah, I'm going to set them up with foundations. And I know they're both going to be members of the Law Dogs. So all that work that we'd be doing for their foundation would be free gratis once you pay your membership fee. Okay? So keep that. Hey, Jerry, my brother from another mother. How are you? As usual, folks, we sent an invitation out to Debbie, and we sent an invitation out to Kent Dunn. And I imagine they're both too busy to be here tonight. But if they pop in, good deal. You know, if they don't, we love them, and we're thinking about them. Tonight's show is about love. Okay. In fact, last week's show was about love, and the week before that shows was about love. Okay. So I love you, Brother Dave. I'm glad you're getting better. Take it one step at a time. Don't try rushing things. And then I want to give a shout out to Sister Diane. Sister Diane. I don't think she has. It's okay. Betty. It's Hamilton Radio 1. Okay.
I'll put it up again.
Yeah, put it up. It's Hamilton Radio 1 on YouTube, and it's the number one. Doc's going to put it up for you. Okay. Shout out to Sister Diane, who sent me another generous donation today. And I want to let you know, without these donations, guys, I can't make it. Okay. I'm still at $350 a month, whopping $350 a month, and Social Security. So, remember when you're working for the government, when you work for the government, and you get your Social Security screwed because you were working under multiple identities, And that's why I can relate with Junior, JFK Jr., because I did disguises and stuff like that when I worked for the IBI and the NSA. I did that, and they didn't have the masks or anything like that, but I did a lot of disguises. And I'll just tell you, this is the thanks I get. Okay, the paperwork wasn't done right. There's no retirement for me that amounts to anything. So the RV coming along is a necessity for me and my family. And I'm very grateful and appreciative to all you people that donate for everything that you do. I mean, you guys, I'm on YouTube. Doc's on YouTube. Brian's on YouTube. But guess what? We don't make any money off of YouTube.
Nothing.
We don't monetize their channel, because if we did, then we'd be working for Google. And Google is the cable guys. Google is the cable guys. Okay. We got a bunch of stuff. Thank you, Sister Diane. I appreciate you so much. Love to you. And I'm so glad I could help you with your estate problems. Okay. We went right down the line with her, and she had 5 things that were not gelling in her estate. Closed banks here in Indiana. Oh, Sheila, I got people in Indiana I can call tonight after the show. I'll give them a call and see what's going on, okay? I told Jen's husband, get your money out of the bank. Oh, and I don't see nothing happening. Okay. Closing banks in Indiana. Precursor, guys. Precursor of what's coming. Jennifer, if you're listening tonight, your husband, I hate to be the one to say it, but you didn't listen to me. I told you so. I hope you got cash on hand, because
if it's his bank, if
it's his bank, but I'm the rest of them are going to go too. The only ones that are going to be operating, Brian, are the ones that are with the
ISO 222 compliant. Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
And they were all supposed to be compliant by February of this year, and they weren't. Yep. Trophy Horse says, Johnny Dangerously, Fargan Sneaking Bastage. I love that movie. Yeah, just remember, I love the way that he said. No, I'm not gonna say it. It's still suggestive, so I won't say it. First Merchant Banks. Ooh, that sounds familiar. Jan, I hope if he's not in First Merchant Bank, I hope you get your money out tomorrow. Okay. How are you going to go to the store when your debit card doesn't work, when your food stamp card doesn't work, when your whatever card doesn't work? Actually, your Wise card won't work either. But that's all right. Your money's backed up in the Wise. Okay? If you've got one account in Wise, I can tell you one thing. One account that I can absolutely guarantee you is mirrored, and that's the Wise account. Okay? Now let's talk about Wise for a minute. Everybody that has an account knows what I'm talking about. There's some new people on the show tonight, and Wells Fargo is a good bank. No, they're not. No, they're not, Jeffrey. I'm sorry. They have had more violations and fines. They've had over $20 billion in fines. No, Wells Fargo is not a good bank. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, okay? But no, they're terrible. They've had over $20 billion in fines. Banks are mirrored with the QFS. The only one I can guarantee you is mirrored. The only one I can guarantee you that is mirrored is the Wise account. That's it. They had, and there's tons of Wells Fargo Bank out in California that are closed. Tons of them. They used to have one on every street corner. Yeah, you're good. You're good, Jeff. Okay. Now, that's not saying a couple branches might not be open, because Wells Fargo was supposed to be the lead bank, but we don't know. We don't know. I'm just going to say this in a very Brother Dave way. There's been a lot of bumps in the road with Wells Fargo. Okay, a lot of bumps in the road. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, but William Mount said a sunspot shut down the entire banking system as being quiet. Well, that's not exactly true. Um,
A sunspot. A sunspot.
a sunspot. Okay, a sunspot's going to affect a internet. No, I
If
ain't
the
fine.
if the ET ship is a sunspot, then I'm going to nod my head yes.
I like Bill. I like Bill Mount. I love him. I would love to talk to him, but man, I mean, what's the suggestions for direct Social Security checks? Take them out of the bank. If you can't, just remember we're only going to be down 10 days, so at the most. There's talk that we might be down. We might be down just 3. Depends on how some things roll out. Now, I've had a lot of impromptu calls with 2 or 3 people, key people in the process. Impromptu calls. So you got time for a conference call? Well, let's see. I was cooking some bacon, but no, we'll just stop everything. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. You leave in the bank, pay our few bills, and if you can't pay them, then nobody's bills are going to get paid. So don't worry about it. Okay. But anyway, I was in a couple of impromptu conference calls, and depending on how the psych op, remember it's a psychological operation, Brian's explained that to you many times, goes with Trump being arrested, or not being arrested, being convicted and getting jail time. Well, let me tell you something. Get this through your head. Our President Trump, Donald John Trump, the one that's being safe and guarded in Cheyenne Mountain, got some information on that too, on the Cheyenne Mountain things. Make sure I come back to it, okay? But he's completely secluded. He is completely secluded and guarded, not only by the good Secret Service and the good FBI, but his own personal security team. His own personal security team is second to none, and I'm including the government's. Keep that through your head. Put that through, realize it, file it, and file one. Now, to go back to Cheyenne Mountain. Okay. Now I'm going to probably look for some nods of the head from Brian on this, okay? Okay? Because Brian knows some of the things, he knows a lot more than me. He doesn't know the geopolitical stuff maybe like I do, but he knows, I know a lot of the stuff that he knows, but I don't know it all, and he knows it all. You guys know about you've seen, I'm sure you're seeing the YouTube and the Rumble videos about the giants, okay? And guess what? Okay, the giants are real. The giants do not live on the surface. They come to the surface. They are probably, undoubtedly, working with the Whiteheads. How in the name of God could we be cleaning up all these dumps and everything if we didn't have something almost supernatural working in our favor? Think about it. Yeah, we got ray guns. Kent's told us we've got ray guns that'll melt reptilians. We know that. But the giants, I don't know what giants they are. You're going to have to tell me, Brian. You'd know more about it than I am, but I know they're working with the White Hats. And I know they're helping to protect Trump. I know this. Okay?
All I can say is that there are good and bad, right?
Yes.
Of everything. So if we have good ones, you can most assuredly assume that there are some bad ones.
Right.
And what better force to have than to have someone's own kind taking their own kind out, because it's much easier. It really is. And you just don't know how many layers are underneath until you get that idea of real transparency. You don't know anything about your planet. You really don't. Yeah, I'll stop there for now.
Yeah, Brian's heading in the right direction. He knows exactly what I'm talking about, and we haven't talked before, so we just—it's not like we script anything or anything like that. We're just running off the knowledge that we have right now. Doc.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you see the post that just came up? Could you put it back up?
Yes, this one.
Yeah. Well, are we going to have election? How about the one before that?
Okay, that one.
No election November 5th. We're too close to it. This is the one. Okay. Firefighter to you. I know these people. They're good people. My friend tried to pay a ticket today online, and they wouldn't take it. They said they need a money order. I think their accounts may have been frozen. What do you think? I think so. And you know what? I don't think you... Did you call them? If you called them on the phone, if they sent you an email and they said pay it with a money order, don't. You've made an attempt in their system to make a payment. I would go on and try it one more time and take a short video of you doing the payment process and that they refused it. A refusal of payment is cancellation of the debt. Okay? Look up your consumer credit code. A refusal of payment is a cancellation of a debt. I finally got my tax refund yesterday. Good for you, Deanne. I'm very pleased about that. Before I get too deep into what's going on geopolitical, I want to talk about the Wise account. Wise.com is an international holding company. It is not a bank. It is loosely connected with certain banks, and it is White Hat approved. Okay, I have been telling everybody about this for 2 years since I first appeared on Kent Dunn's show. Okay, internationally approved. Okay, you're not going to get a debit card for a little bit. They're not sending out debit cards right now, but you still need to set up your account at wise.com. You will need a front and back digital copies of your driver's license. Okay, and then try to follow the best that you can. There's videos on YouTube. And I'm going to tell you, I think you better get it done before, if you haven't set it up yet, $59 minimum. Put in $59 minimum. You may be screwed after this weekend. Okay, there's a lot of things happening tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. There's something real special going on Tuesday, and I can't talk about it. But just there you go. There you go. Good for you. Good for you, Claire. Good for you. You made an attempt to make a payment. Good for you. And I know, and the case was closed. Good for you. Let me tell you something. You're going to start winning in court during the transitional period because they're going down, guys. They are going down. I was on a call Monday. 200 and some cop cars just in Florida. Okay. I told him to wait and call again and let him know he couldn't pay it. And don't call them. Don't call them. They set up the website. You followed their terms and their terms and conditions, and they refused to pay. Okay. Larry, says I refuse to pay all the time, but they still won't cancel it. You can't get blood out of a turnip. Okay. Or can you? I don't know. I didn't say the right words yet. If you want to manifest, 520-7418. Say that little ditty. 520-7418. Say that little ditty when you're setting up your Wise account. Okay. Now, and the wise account's important because you're going to know before the RV happens. Because the minute the dinar shows up on Forex, that's going to force the wise account to revalue. Okay? I've told you this before. You're actually going to have money before and know it's not double dipping. Okay? It's not double dipping. I've explained that to you before. Oh, the new Madrid fault. Oh, okay. Don, we'll come back to that. Doc, remind me to come back to that.
Okay.
That's a thing for Brian and me both. Yeah, that's the thing for us both to talk about. Okay, and because I'll tell you why. Brian's got his knowledge, and I've got my knowledge because I'm living on top of it, just a few miles down the road. Okay. Why would I open an account at Wise when they are not sending out cards? Because then you'll have money will change in value in the account, and when they send out the card, then you will be a millionaire.
But you don't have to, because it's choice driven. So if you feel the need not to and you just want to watch the show, please, by all means, watch the show. We're not asking for you to trust us or to invest our ideas. It is a shared it's a shared collective idea, but with a singular responsibility. That's really all it is. So you're going to play however you want to play on the board game.
The only difference between this and putting your money in a slot machine is this is a guaranteed win. The slot machine isn't. Okay? So take that and digest that. Okay. We got that done. Now, I got a call this afternoon from Docg, and we're going to talk about this a little bit because we have a lady, and I'm not going to give you her name. I'm going to give you her nickname that we call her Sweets, okay? And Sweets is 59 years old, and her husband is 50, and they have a special needs child, okay? And they were recently evicted out of a extended stay motel, and all of their possessions were stolen. Now, I have advised her on things that she can do legally and options that she can do, but they've literally taken everything away from them, and they have nothing. So I know we have a couple thousand people listening right now. Don't tell me we don't. I think we have a lot more than that. I think we got a lot more than 2,000 people. Okay? So I'm going to make a plea to everybody listening. Send a Cash App right now for a minimum of $3. $3. I can afford $3. I'm going to send her $3. Okay? I'm broke as a joke. I got $35, but I'm going to send her $3, and you should too. Everybody send her $3. Her Cash App is $Sweets Gifts. SWEETSGIFTS. Okay? Everybody send $3. I know we got 2,000. They don't have anything. All their possessions were stolen. I have given them instructions on what to do and who to contact, and I'm helping them that way. But I don't want everybody can afford $3. Okay, everybody can. Okay, if we have 2,000 people, then they've got $6,000, and we have helped a family get a roof over their head. They're living in another motel now. I have already told them to get a hold of a certain church that helps people in these situations. I don't endorse that church, but I know they do not turn anybody away. Okay, I'm not an endorser of churches, but if I was, this one church would be the one I would endorse. And we're all Christians. We're all. This is all about the love. It's all about the love, guys. LOVE. That's why I said this show is about love. The last one was about love. The one before that was about love. You guys showed your love to Docg.
Yes, you did.
You made donations to him, and you're making donations to me, and I appreciate it. I really do. God love you for it. And all I'm asking is $3 each. $3. We got 2,000 people. To send $3, we got $6,000. They can have that motel over their head until the RV happens.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now, I want to remind you all.
Chance, before you do that, let's do this. Let me play my song because I think this song will motivate a lot of people. And if everybody likes the song, please donate to my friend because she needs the help. Her transmission in the car just goes out right now, and they only are doing DoorDash. They have no home, and they have a child with Asperger's, autistic as well. So please do whatever you can. But if you like the song, show it through your love for her donation. This is what everybody did for me. I'm doing it for her. If you like the song and you hear it, and let me just give you a little preview of the song. The song is called The Brightest Part of My Life. Every song that I write is a positive thought, idea, goal, dream of every one of us. But at the same time, it also gives us hope and love. So I'm going to play that song for you right now. And please send it to her. If you don't want to send it to the gift Cash App, send it to Chance. You know Chance's information, and you know where you can get him. You can always send it to me, and I'll send it to her. But send it to her on the screen. I'm going to play the song right now so you guys can hear it. It's called The Brightest Part of My Life. All right, here we go, guys. You let me know what you think.
In the moonlight, I see your face. Gives me hope and fills my space. In the moonlight, I see your face. Gives me hope and fills my space. Your love shines bright in the darkest night. With you, I know everything's right. Through the highs and lows, we stand tall. In each other's arms, we never fall. Your smile lifts me higher each day. Side by side, we'll find our way. It's you, the brightest part of my life. Having you, hugging you makes me thankful. Loving you all through the strife. My partner, I will always love you. In the stormy weather, you are there. Holding me close, you always care. With your love, there's a song we sing. Together we can face anything. Every moment is a gift with you. Holding me close, you always care. With your love is a song we sing. Together we can face anything. Every moment is a gift with you. Every heartbeat feels so true. Together forever, that's our vow. Love eternal here and now. Every moment is a gift with you. Every heartbeat feels so true. Together forever, that's our vow. Love eternal here and now. It's you, the brightest part of my life. Having you, holding you makes me thankful.
There you go, guys. That's from my new album coming out called My Life, and I hope you liked it. I'd say it as a new wedding song for a lot of people, but I could be wrong. But I freaking love that song.
Yeah, I think it's a very well written song, and I think it ought to be recorded by some real musicians that can really put some real energy and emotion into it.
I'm working on that. I'm
But
also
thank
trying
you.
to get into movies and stuff, and I love that. Thank you. Everybody says it's a beautiful song. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very
It is
chillaxed.
beautiful.
What's that, Byron?
It's very chillaxed. I like it.
Yeah.
It's like it makes me want to mellow out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna go eat my gummy,
Thank you, guys.
my hemp gummy, and listen to Doc's song.
I'll send it to you, Chance. I just got to register it first, and then I just want to let you guys know I'm working on 5 different film projects with 5 different companies right now. I have a meeting with a billionaire next week. I'm hoping, just pray for me that things work out, because if it does, this song is going to be in a movie. I can guarantee it, especially some of the movies that I'm part of. I can guarantee it.
Okay, last night my son and I watched Twisters 2, Doc, and none of the music that they played fit the song.
Of course.
Okay. None of it. I mean, it was all country, and it was all bad country. It was all bad country. And I'm sitting there telling Mickey, I said, I could have picked out 8 different songs that they could have put in that soundtrack that would have worked, but they didn't. And I'm going to tell you what's going to return. I'm going to tell you right now what's going to return. Quality songs like this and good old time rock and roll. Everything from the 60s to the 80s, when the Beatles came out, and Dave Clark 5 and Jerry and the Pacemakers and the Doobie Brothers and Canned Heat and Foreigner and Journey, this type of rock is going to come back, and I'm going to help perpetrate that after the event. Okay. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm not. I've already told Docg some of my plans, and he's going to be right there with me. Okay. He's my brother from another mother. And speaking of brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you very quickly. I want to give a big shout out to Maria number 1, the Maria that I talk to all the time. And she was on a Spanish talk show, and it's coming up on YouTube. And she speaks Spanish pretty good, but she is completely awake. She knows about the reptilians. She knows about the white hats, and I haven't seen the video yet. I'm looking forward to it. I guess it's still being edited before it goes on YouTube, but it's all specifically for the Spanish speaking community, and I think that's very, very good, because how many people, that they're not bilingual, but they are legitimate citizens. They are legitimate sovereigns in this country. The song will be available very soon. We will let you know, and we'll probably play it again next week because it's good. You can't bring back Boston. Tom Schultz is very sick, and the singer's voice is shot. True. So unless you can get all these unless you can get these old rockers in a med bed and dial them back about 60 years, there's not going to be any more new stuff from them. Okay,
that is true.
But let me continue on about Maria. She did this, and then after she did it, she says, "So I think I could have hurt the white hats, with some of the thought." And I said, "No. You gave information that anybody who's awake already knew 3 years ago. You were just trying to awaken some Spanish speaking folks. And I said, you didn't do anything wrong. And in fact, I'll tell you the truth, I'm very proud of her for going on and doing that, because, you know, there's not a lot of people that would, you know, put themselves out there like that, you know, to do that. And it's basically, it's very important, because, you know, if I had the facilities, this show would be in Spanish, it would be in French, it would be in whatever language it needs to be in. Okay. But that will be for the future. But I wanted to give a round of applause to Maria for doing the show. And they want her back again. And I heard that, Dawn. I heard that. Yes. I get it. And who knows? But, you know, let's get these old guys in med beds. I don't think they're done making music yet. Okay. But good for Maria. Congratulations, my dear Maria, number one. And I'm looking forward to seeing the edited. She wanted some of the stuff taken out, so they're going to edit it. But the woman that was interviewing her was very articulate, and Maria said she felt a little awkward. But you know, my first show with Docg was. You want to talk about awkward? Okay, I did not have my act together. I hope you destroyed that, by the way, Doc. You probably got it tucked away on a DVD somewhere and say, "Hey, Chance, I'm gonna blackmail you."
I would never do that. I would never do that.
But the unscripted is the best.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Because it is authenticity at its finest. So it's something that should be cherished and not hidden away. Is that way when people look at it, they can have their cringe moment, and then they can turn it off, and they can go, okay, I'm just going to keep watching the better versions.
You know, you are right, because this entire show that we do every week is completely unscripted. We might know what we're going to talk about, but we don't know how we're going to say it.
Yeah, we don't coordinate with each other at all.
Yeah, we're not coordinated at all. In fact, week after week goes by, and I don't even talk to Brian, because he's got his life and I got mine. But once in a while, we talk during the week, and Brian's got some important stuff I want you to pay attention to, because he's got a presentation that he wants to make. And I'm going to step off here, and I'm going to be listening. But I showed this before the show started. See that?
Yep,
ground beef. Okay, it's frozen. I've been putting my hand on it because my wrist swole up, and it was very, very painful. I couldn't even use my left hand. I think I sprained it. But anyway, you go ahead and make your presentation, Brian. I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to swap this out for completely frozen because it's starting to get a little mushy.
Not a problem.
Okay. All right. So, and guys, and I know, Hey You Guys is documenting this show tonight, and I hope she documents what Brian has to say tonight, because this is some pretty good stuff. And I kind of got a preview, but I'm anxious to hear what he had to say too. So, without any further ado, here is the one and only Fascinating Brian.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to start with the heaviest part, because I think it makes sense. So the topic, it's called Too Little, Too Late. Okay, it's very important for those that have not exited at this current juncture. Okay, so the reason, and my guides were saying, yeah, it's a form of tough love. So as Chance said from the previous show, and I do have empathy for the other Maria that didn't get a chance to see the journey that she wished she could have. But in the principle of how the journey did happen, there's still merit, right? The merit is you get to bear witness to a fraction, a very minute amount, such as the word. She passed. She's moved on to a better plane, most likely. She's reviewed her script like so many others. And we're talking from the spirit side, right? You review, you download the hardships, you feel the hardships, you nod your head, you grit your teeth, you get that sour expression. You still have expressions, even if you're disincarnated. And you say, I'm going to have that imprinted in my next life because that will never, ever happen again. Never, ever, ever. So there's great power within that, what you would call journey's end, even though there is no end. So it's still to be celebrated. But the reason why the message is in the statement, too little, too late, is really important. That's for the ones that are struggling now, right? You're going to have to step up and be more resourceful. You're going to have to take advantage of the empowerment of the I am, the energy, whether you're alone or whether you're with those struggling with, and taking action. You're going to do whatever it takes to take you yourself out of that survival state. You will do anything because you don't like how it feels. No one likes it. It is not enjoyable. Suffering is not fun unless that's a part of your journey. That is a part of the choice-driven aspect. But if you truly, truly don't want to experience a lot of these games and shenanigans, you're going to empower, you're going to step forward, and you're going to take charge now. You're not going to wait so someone can give you a hand up. You're going to swat that hand away, and you're going to say, I'm going to push myself up. You're going to do it, even if it hurts, even if it's uncomfortable. It's not to say that you're not going to ask for help from time to time, but again, you're still not going to want to fall under a type of cycle where you're perpetually being reliant on someone else, especially if you can take care of you. And if you're taking care of others, you better damn be sure to really step up because you're looking after others. It's important. So the too little, too late, if you feel it in your life, your lifestyle, you're going to need to step up and change. So I do have empathy. I do wish months on back, these people would have been here to share a possible future with Chance. He would have loved to see that different story. But now the only thing he could do is visualize a variant of himself getting to have that idea, kind of like daydreaming. That's the only thing he could do to honor the memory. So here's another topic, and I'm going to encourage. So this is what I also discovered, and I'm no longer going to use the terminology spiritual awakening. I actually find it loaded, manipulated, and used for manipulation. And it's almost like the same principle of like, I'm better than you in a way, even though we still know there is a progression or awareness. But this is why it's important to not use spiritual awakening. What is awakening? I don't know what it is because it's so freaking broad. So everyone has a different idea who's awake, right? So there is a lot of discrepancies, I feel, with that word. And I'm no longer going to associate the word spiritual awakening. However, I did find an appropriate word because I use it all the time on all my shows. It's authenticity. So spiritual authenticity / transparency has a greater format, right? So what's really powerful about that version is you're not hiding. You're here showing your true colors. You're of the highest, whatever caliber of authenticity that you could imagine yourself being, because it shows in how mannerisms, action, engaging, conversation, holistic, or the other. There's a lot in how authenticity shows an individual's ego from a spiritual side. So I like the idea of spiritual authenticity. And you have to learn and you have to train to have a higher caliber authenticity. That also means you have to learn and gain control over variant emotions. So you have to also restructure anger. You have to do almost like alchemy, or from the energetic side. So you have to tailor anger in a very translucent way. You have to tailor malice. You have to tailor sadness. There's all these emotions that you have to literally rewrite the script to make it more authentic for you. So it is more powerful than the collective's version, because you're standing in a different game field. It's on the same game board, but it's very different because it's quite noticeable to many, because they can't grasp or necessarily understand, but it does leave a very powerful impression. So here's something that I also wanted to bring up, and I thought this should be everyone's number one humanitarian project, because this is my number one humanitarian project. So this project can make, depending on the, I call your Federation of Planets or Federation of Light, etc., or a better word, your frenemies, right? Because you don't know. This number one humanitarian project may make or break your exit strategy, because I was warned that this would make or break possibly my journey. And the reason why I'm willing to accept it, and I think everyone should accept it, is because it'll break everything. It'll break. It's just something that should have been done long ago. And in fact, many races wanted that idea to just be grown naturally on the planet. So my number one humanitarian project is, I call it Source Historical Authenticity with Transparency. So I want within that, meaning I would be in charge, because everyone has to take charge of this idea. You want the real history, right? You want the real meat and potatoes. You want everything nothing hides. So that's like, if you wanted to go to Area 51, they would say, sure, you can look at our archives. We're liberating Earth. Okay? We're doing this for the people. We want them to know everything. So everything's on the table. Nothing is hiding. We're not scripting anything. And then you go, fine, that's great. So you want to be able to consume and take those documentations. You want to be able to get a team. And you want to write the new history books. Nothing hides. That should be your number one humanitarian project. Why is that important? Because you want to test your frenemies, right? You want to test the idea, am I truly liberated? Am I free on a free world? Is the 1,000 years of peace and beyond truly 1,000 years of peace? Or is the 1,000 years of peace a break so script writers over hundreds of years, not human, can create a new board game because you're not paying attention, because you're not doing the hard work, and you're not willing to maintain preparedness? It's something to think about. So if this is your number one project and you're like, yeah, it'll be no problem. We all want the truth. And then if they say, I'm sorry, but there has to be a clearance. You can't go to these archives. We're unable to provide this information to you. Then you need to have, scrutinize everything from henceforward, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is there's an idea, and I did a lot of remote viewing today. I did a lot of remote viewing actually all week, seeing possibilities and futures of where Earth is headed. Okay? And what I have seen multiple times, it's just a break. And then there's space wars. Yes, space wars and battles. And just because you have your 1,000 years of peace doesn't mean you won't be here, because maybe you will. Or maybe you'll be in the arc reincarnation cycle and you may have memory and remember he's like, damn, he said it. And I just wasn't paying attention when I was back when. So there is that possibility. Because I'm telling you right now, it doesn't even make sense from a galactic point of view. Think about it. I really want you to think about it for a second. And trust me when I say they don't like the fact that I'm actually talking about this. They're not liking it at all. And I know they're monitoring. They're extremely large, right? They have their own sectors with councils, but they also have higher councilmen, but who has accountability? And you cannot go through the lower councilmen to get to the higher councilmen. You don't even know who they are. So what happens is through multiple scripts, I'm just going to say multiple scripts because they're really big, right? If you're a collector with a stapled name, you're really big. How did you get there? Was it really liberation? Or was there terms and conditions with attachments to it from a galactic collective agreement? And then those terms and conditions within the fine print over time, remember your 1,000 years of peace over time is beholden to or subservient. Oh, we're ready to join the Federation. We'll do whatever you say. It is a military power. We know how that works. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. We'll follow your lead. You saved us. Thank you so very much. Not willing to ask the hard questions. You notice the pattern. So there is some scrutiny. You're going to have to think about this. So the conclusion or multiple scenarios I've seen within this space war idea, and yeah, it could be terrifying, sure, is jurisdiction, because there's still jurisdiction, even outside in space. There's still laws, also outside in space. And you're going to have to write your own terms and contracts for this idea to be your number one humanitarian project. Yes, I'm going back to that. And I think the most important term or agreement is, if I don't, or if I'm unable to have the total transparency, I would like to enact the RICO effect, even up above. Oh, yes. I mean, just because it all happens down here, it's got to trickle right back up there. I want that to happen. I really do. Because they need to be held accountable. If they played, and let's say your papaya or your cocktail got created on, I'm not going to say Saturn, and then that cocktail came to this planet just so they can see how it goes round robin, right? You're going to want to know. And I'm not trying to be light about this. I'm actually very serious for the future humans. Because, and if I get exited forcibly, then someone's going to have to step up, or many people will have to step up if I'm unable to be contacted, because that is my number one humanitarian project. So that's something a collective powerhouse should endeavor, so that way we will never have this again, even as a higher scalar human being, because it's not fun. And duality, from an internal perspective, there's always going to be hardships, and that's fine, because that's part of the game. That's a part of what it means to be a creator. But you really want to create the highest caliber holistic society to where you're never taken advantage of. We don't need that. We've had enough of that for way too long, in addition to a lot of the resets. And another important thing, and I did tell Chance this earlier, and I told him earlier that, so I said, that the planet has ley lines, right? Has a circulatory system. He's like, yeah. That's like, well, did you know the universe also has ley lines and a circulatory system? There's a lot of hidden things from even the physical side that even a lot of interstellar beings don't know. But from a spiritual side, this planet is quite important from a circulatory system of the galaxy, the universe, and the ley lines outside in the universe. She is a diamond, a rainbow diamond in the rough. She's a gem. She really is, from the spirit side. So she's got an energy because of her collective agreements, her script that she tailored, and many would kill to have it. They really would. You'd be surprised. But I'm not going to explain why, because that's not what I'm supposed to do anyways. Other than that, yes, so choose, right? You're choosing for future generations. You're choosing for your great-great-grandkids, and possibly you're choosing for you when you decide to come on back. So you're going to have, again, everything's choice driven. So please pick carefully or do nothing. Because God knows after Nasara Jasera and maybe 500,000 years, I'm not going to be here as who I am anyways, because that's not in my contract. So I'm only here for half the show because I've got other things to do, and it's all more shenanigans, and it's all interstellar, and I'm ready to play differently and make waves. And I would love it. And if they do attempt, and they do know this too, so if they do attempt to force me to exit within my contract, I can come back with my idea or a vengeance, because my vengeance will be justice, and I will take out whoever and as many as needed to shift the board game the direction I intended to. I have no qualms about it. I will be their frenemy, but at a greater format, because that's, again, choice driven, my story, and I love it because I'm a warrior in spirit anyways, and I love to fight. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, Brian, did you see
Yeah.
what? Did you see what came up on the screen? The guy said you're going to have to give a course, a whole semester, 5 days a week to course to explain what you just said. Not really, but if you understand, if you go back, watch the replay, and take what he said a sentence at a time. Okay?
Too
Take
much
it
for
as
him to absorb. I think that's what he's
absorb it.
saying.
Absorb it a sentence at a time. I got where he was coming from because I kind of got a preview of where he was going to go. Okay, and I will say it's deep. I will say it's deep. But as far as the reincarnation wheel that Kent Dunn said he turned off, okay, you can't turn off the reincarnation wheel indefinitely. You can only do it temporarily, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Because energy doesn't end.
Well, so when he means, I know what he means when he says it. It means like when there's a transition phase, there's a stopgap for a changeover, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a planet and those that have already made the internal, in other words, the physical planetary changes of their own vessel, they transition with the planet, meaning everything else kind of like becomes brittle. We're talking about a lower third dimensional matrix. It's like breaking glass. So over time, the fractals, the energy, they just kind of like dissipate. And that's why when I say, please visualize the highest caliber reality, right? So you don't want to see so many ideas as separatism, where there's separate banks, right? The idea is it's just wealth management centers. You're setting the stage for a higher caliber existence, telling whatever formats matter, whether it's carbon, whether it's silicon matter, you want, because again, you're still playing in a duality. You just are. You want to make it plain with a base or basic format. So everything would be wealth management system, wealth management centers. Okay, great. So what happens to Venezuela digitalis, Vietnamese dong, US dollar, yin, yang, credits? See where I'm coming from or where I'm getting at? So you're removing a lot of separate ideas. You're trading them out for a greater format. And that's what's going to tailor the next game board. So what happens to farmers? Farmers will use a higher caliber automated system, a higher made. It'll be more thoughtful. The processing and everything will be for the humans. So, but in order for you to have that, you need to know how you got here from the past, right? Because you don't want to leave room for error. So you need to scrutinize everything. So you remove potential ideas. And again, it's never perfect. If you think things are perfect, I'm like, they are, but you better be a part of the whole and not having any Mario suits whatsoever. There's perfection there, because then you don't have to play with the idea of light, dark, any existential existence or realm. It just won't be necessary. That's the heaven-like state. Unless you find a holistic planet that exhibits heaven-like ideas, you have to be a frequency match, right? You have to visualize it, and you have to search throughout the infinite to find it. It may not be in this universe. It may be in a graduated universe, right? They're out there too. So that what he said, there is merit to what he says, and usually it's when there's that idea of ascension, and because Edward Casey and everyone else back in the day were talking about it, they've already set the stage, and everyone, again, choice driven, and with the idea too little too late, those that go are the winners. The ones don't make it, it's the game board, right? They're the losers in this. It's not wrong to say it or put it that way, but in the end, we're still all winners and losers, because that's just a part of duality. And I like being a winner every now and then, and I most definitely like being a loser too, because being the loser guarantees more exponential growth than being a winner. Surprisingly, you'd be surprised. It's got more merit. I didn't think it did, but when I started thinking critically and analyzing how fast you propel forward from a loss versus a win, it's quite powerful. So don't think of it as a negative thing. A loss isn't more likely a win when you're moving forward. But if the loss is where you're perpetually losing without breaking that streak, then yeah, you're a loser.
Hey Brian, I got a homework assignment for everybody that really sincerely wants to understand what you said. Okay? Because I'm sitting here and I'm absorbing it, okay? I'm absorbing it and I'm thinking, "Oh my God. I know what you're talking about." And it all came into view for me, okay? No, listen, Jane.
She's
I
got
want
it
to tell
wrong.
you.
Loser
Yeah,
mentality.
listen to this. Listen to this analogy,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay? The analogy is go watch the Star Trek pilot called The Cage. Go watch it and then understand it, absorb it, and then come back and listen to Brian's part in the show tonight. You listen to it then. Watch the Star Trek pilot called The Cage that had introduced the character Christopher Pike.
Oh, I remember.
Brian has hit the nail on the head. Until you understand everything that he said, if you want to understand it, go watch The Cage, the pilot for Star Trek. It's on the internet. You can find it. It's on Paramount. Oh, by the way, Paramount's going down. Did you know that?
Nope, but a lot of them are.
Yeah, 20% of their and they're in with they're in the banks now trying to negotiate something so that they can keep their online presence. But Paramount's in trouble, and I'm going to break my heart because that's where all the Star Trek stuff was.
Doesn't
But
matter.
guys,
Yeah, it'll all be.
yeah, it'll just migrate someplace else. It's fine, you know. But guys, please go watch The Cage and then listen to what Brian said again, and you're going to have a lot wider perspective of exactly where he was going. Okay. Okay. I do have some notes here that came in on the internet. And let's see, we've gotten, I've got a few donations here that came in for sweets. And please, if you're going to send that $3 donation or more to Sweets, could you put that email up again, Doc?
Which one is it? Oh,
That
Sweets?
Cash App for Sweets. Cash App for Sweets.
Yep.
And she's already been on here once and said thank you, and she has been receiving it. And as soon as the show is over, I'm going to be sending some over to you. So be looking for one from Chance McFadden or Brian McFadden. So that'll be coming on right after the show.
Yeah, so let me give you an update on what she says. This way you guys can understand.
Great.
Right now, she says she got 118 this so far. She's about $120 short. You have $200 for rent, but now $318, but it's $439 to have by Saturday. She just needs to stay in the place a little bit longer till she finds another place. That's what I read from this. So she needs the money to help her stay there for a little while and then try to relocate. Okay, people. So keep sending money into her. That's great. Thank you. But she really appreciates it. Thank you. And we do too. Go ahead, Chance.
And let's talk about what you guys have done before. Do you remember the family that was Min Chow? Min Chow had brought to me the family, 2 boys and the husband and wife, and they both got hired at the grocery store, and now they, thanks to your donations and the temporary housing that we were able to provide for them, they are relocating to New York, where they have both gotten jobs at the. Thank you, Sharon. They have They're relocating to New York, and they both got really good jobs. And I hope it's not New York City, but let's hope they got in a good spot in New York where they could prosper. And it was all because of you guys. Okay. And 3 weeks ago, you guys jumped up and helped Docg a lot, and I really appreciate that.
They did. Yes,
And you have constantly been helping me, and now you're helping Sweets tonight. So please, if you're listening to this broadcast, send at least $3. I know we got 2,000 people minimum listening on tonight. I know we do. I think it's more like 10,000 people. Okay, so please, let's send them $3. What's that going to do? It's not. Like I said, I'm going to give $3, and you guys, I might give more if I can, but the show is all about love. Okay, I am okay. Let's read this. I want to read this. I can't help but think of the scene from the movie Trading Places, where the 2 owners made a dollar bet so they could destroy the lives of Dan Aykroyd's character. Yeah, there's something to that. And you know what? That's what the old elite did.
Yeah.
They
Hey,
bet
you
a
guys.
dollar.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you guys posted, like, Brian, I posted a question about fake Biden on the neighborhood site and was blasted and insulted. So, you know what's funny? It's like you can't reason with anybody. There's really no point at this current juncture. So you're better off just watching them be reactionary. And if they suddenly bombard you with all questions and manners and they want to consume information, just say no. Say no, you need to keep watching because they're not ready. So please be aware that you're going to have to create distance from a lot of the stupidity, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's neighbors. You're going to need to step aside and let them absorb whatever that is being produced objectively shown, because you're going to need to be scrutinizing once again and paying attention closely. Sorry to deviate, but yeah, I think $3 is very, very reasonable, and I will send $3 as soon as like I'm done here on the show. And just, if nothing else, think of it as a part of not good karma, but you sharing in the idea of abundance, right? Abundance doesn't have to be on a scale like when you're watching Millionaires, right? Abundance can be quite small, but it can feel as if it has a greater value, but it's still personal. So think about that. And I would appreciate, and again, it's only going to get harder. And I don't mean harder in a negative way. I mean harder just because there's going to be a lot of reveals and everyone's going to process differently emotionally. And that's what I mean by harder, because some of it will be hard to swallow for some, and then others, it'll be like taking a lozenge and be like, oh, that's good. It's banana flavor. Great. But yeah.
Brian, I love you, brother. I'm just going to tell you that I really do love you, and
We do.
you're one of the few people that I can talk to that really gets my brain going in a circle. And then wait a minute, I'm going to find a stop sign, and then I'm going to catch up mentally. Okay, so that's what I want everybody else to do. Min Chow says my son is going through hell in a contract. He's going through hell in an apartment complex in Texas. The man chased him in his car this morning going 50. My son has to move with his 16-year-old. It's been something else. Oh my God. There's something in the water in Austin, Texas, in Texas in general. There's something in Texas. Thanks,
It's
Jerry.
It's
There's something going on in Texas. First of all, Austin, Texas has got okay, if you don't think this isn't huge, then you don't know anything about real estate. And I don't know a lot, but I do know what I've learned. 8% drop in real estate values is huge. Okay. That's what it's dropped to. And they're expecting, the people that I've talked to in California are expecting California to drop 40% by the end of September, property values. And Austin, Texas is leading and will go hit 30% loss in property values by the end of this month. It's headed down that way. All real estate laws across the board are getting ready to change. If you're a realtor, if I was you, I'd look for a different job. It's not looking good. The real estate profession, you know about this, don't you, Brian? I'm seeing a smile from Brian.
Well, only because I've seen a variant future from my perspective, and I know how it's all gonna change from the idea of what is considered a job and what is considered feasible do-it-yourself aspect. And
Right.
one of those ideas is like, if you sell your home, you're gonna allow the QFS, again, the automated system, to do the listing, and you'll do the, I would say, 3D hologram with the person, and they'll walk through your house as a hologram, as their own hologram, and then you'll sell it
Yep.
just like that. That's very different. And guess what? There's no middleman. No one taking a cut. You just do it all through AI.
Yep. And guess what? You better quit your day job because it ain't going to be there next month, realtors. Okay. I know a lady here in town that just made a fortune being a realtor. And what's she do for it? She unlocks the door. She gives encouraging words. And I like this lady. She's a sweetheart. But she made $1,600 commission, and I didn't even get a song or a dance from her. You know, lots of big smiles. Oh, well, you can fix that. Well, why don't we get the seller to do that? Oh, no, you can do that. It's not going to be that bad. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Only thing that really matters is, thank you. The only thing that really matters is that I get my $1,600 commission. So go ahead and enjoy the house, guys. Thank you on the wrinkles thing. Actually, I do have plenty, but I do use a collagen-based skin cream. So, because, but if I could just find something to get rid of this, okay? See the chin? Okay. Or we can do this. Look, 70, 40, 70, 40. Oh, gosh. Well, depends on the transaction. I've earned every penny. I'm sorry, Shelly. No, I'm not meaning to insult you. I really am not. But the way that the economy's changing, it's not. I'm not saying you didn't earn it. And God only knows. I know some realtors actually over in Macomb that when they were alive, they were just, they some houses they had to go in and clean and paint because the owners wouldn't do it. So I know there are some people that really earn their money, but for the most part, realtors in general, I can't say that I'm disappointed in seeing it change. And sometimes change is good, sometimes change is bad. But just remember, change is always, no matter what, inevitable. It's the only constant in the universe. Quote, Lyle McFadden, 1962, my dad. Change is the only constant in the universe. Okay, guys, let's see that $ Sweets Gifts, SWEETSGIFTS, to send a donation to Sweets. Please do that right now. And now we're going to the highlight of the evening. I want you to listen because this came in late last night. Chance, the bank just called, and once again, we are expecting the 1% payments imminently. That's why I told you guys, pay attention to this weekend and Tuesday. Okay. Bank just called once again and expecting the 1% payments imminently. Okay. And I told you to get your Wise account, remember? And that Iraq will post the NIQD rate between now and the 19th. Today's the 15th. Okay, I understand realtors defending their position. Okay, and yeah, I know.
There is no judgment. We all know that.
No, I don't mean to think that, but like the realtor lady that I was just talking about. She's sweetest lady you ever met in your life. Just awesome. Just awesome person. But every time I turn around, her and her family's going on vacation. Oh, that's a Disney World for 2 weeks. Disney World for 2 weeks? Hell, I couldn't afford to go for 1 day. You going to Disney World for 2 weeks? Can you imagine what that would cost? Okay. Thank you, Beth. We appreciate it. Every $3 helps. If you send more, God bless you. God bless you. So anyway, that's what I just said at the beginning. I said, gee, pay attention to this weekend and through Tuesday. Okay, I just read the RV update.
Yeah, but also
That's
keep
what
in
I said.
mind. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was also going to say, but keep in mind, and yes, I hate paying attention to it, but I'm still looking at the queue ops, right? So because we're beholden to a script. So whether you like it or not, just appreciate, I guess, the fact that you get to observe it. That's the only thing that I really appreciate about it is that I get to observe it, and then I can choose. Future me can choose if I thought it was worth enjoying and liking, or I can spit in a platoon and call it such garbage. I could do that too. So, yeah.
Well, guys, I just want to tell you, it's very important to send in a donation, okay? Because the reason it's so important is because we're getting ready to get out of here, and as soon as I can find my closing theme music, I'm going to play it. But listen, we appreciate your donations. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you. And I want you to listen to one thing I got to say. I absolutely, unequivocally love each and every one of you. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, okay? Oh, always love the YouTube ads. Can't cut them out. We got to have the YouTube ads, right? Docg, thank you. Everything tonight. We hope to help the friend. Fascinating Brian. Absolutely fascinating. There's no other word for him. Okay, guys. I love you all. Good. Oh, wait, we got the puppy? The puppy! Oh, that's the dog of the day?
Month.
Puppy of the day? Oh, I love it. I love it. HamiltonRadio.net, guys. The only radio station you need to be listening to. I'm Chance McFadden. We'll see you next week. God bless.
Bye, everybody. God bless.